Join us as we dive deep with real indie filmmakers, those creating outside the studio system, sharing raw, unfiltered stories about their artistic vision, personal growth, and spiritual evolution. This isn't about Hollywood's version of indie. It's about the true heart and hustle of independent artistry, where bold dreams meet purpose and art defines the journey. I'm Adrienne Acevedo Lovett.
And I'm John A. Rice.
And this is Real Indie.
Today we have Joseph Castillo-Midyett, award-winning actor, director, writer, and producer, classically trained American Latino creator. And we also have his lovely wife, Gisela Chípe, award-winning actor, producer, who has been on Broadway, major TV shows, and audiobooks. And I'd like to add that Joseph also has been in major TV shows and films. Welcome, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for being here, of course.
Yes, and I love that you guys are a duo, like a married couple, indie filmmaking powerhouse.
A power couple.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's the goal. Like the Farley brothers, but sleep with each other.
Gotta love the benefit.
Oh, gosh.
How long have we all known each other?
I don't know. I don't say the numbers for the women just because it's a brutal industry for them.
Do you remember what project it was? I always try. I'm completely.
When we first, I think it was
the Benefits.
Oh yes.
Oh my God, that's
He was at short
right.
film.
Fucking hell! You saved that life. You saved that thing.
No. It was a fun bit though. Like I even look back at that footage and us playing the coworkers and how ridiculous they were and just the characters themselves, and you guys doing the slip inside.
Oh my God.
I recently showed that to my nephews who loved it.
Wait a second.
Loved you guys slip
I don't think I've
inside.
ever seen this.
Really?
You stinker.
It's on YouTube.
And it's actually very
No,
good.
wait, really? I've never seen it either.
That's
It's
awesome.
You never saw it?
No.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh my God.
How long is it?
Like 10 minutes, maybe?
No, it's less than that.
Oh.
I don't think it's 10 minutes.
It's good.
It's short, yeah, but it's amusing.
And that's
We'll send you a link.
Especially when we all go crazy.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Goes
that's
to show
what
you
creator
that-
life. We just like move on. We have to like get to the next
on to
thing.
the next one.
Our job is to get the next job. And so when we're on the job, we're like, oh, this is great. It's vacation.
Right.
That's true. Forget to look. What were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, please don't apologize. I want to know more about social media. Like after this, we'll have to hit up because we're going really hard on it. We've got the setup and everything, and I'm just like, just because everything that's happening trend-wise is like, it's the film industry, acting industry is turning into like, I feel the music industry more and more and more and more, and there's just nowhere in between. There's like, there's no, I'm a working actor anymore. There's like, I'm barely making it, and then the superstars, and then just like the music industry is like, you're putting your music out on fucking SoundCloud, or you're Katy Perry. So I think the only way that you can secure a position is to come with the audience. I know I keep saying it, trying to do it, but especially like with what's happening with AI and like,
it's a big deal in the voiceover industry for that reason as well. And
Oh yeah.
we were just discussing like, I need to engage more with the audience that likes my work and maybe get new fans because I think that's the future of what audiobooks and voiceovers, like they're going to want to not just hear your voice, but know you as a personality, see you on social media. Do you have a following? Would people be tuning in just because of you, and
you're right.
vibe?
It's kind of like the only way to
the only way.
secure you
only
as
way.
an actor, secure you as a voiceover artist is to have a following and people going, well, at least they have a following. It's worth hiring them because, it seems like AI, at least in the voiceover world right now, can take jobs.
And what's so tricky is that, like, in order to get that following, you actually do have to put your voice out into the social media sphere where that could be used to train the AI. So it's kind of we haven't quite figured out how to like navigate that, but I'm sure that's what we're
Also,
gonna
it's
do
like,
next.
just to finish up the thought is like, for the people listening, all 100,000,
They're scraping your voice right now.
I know,
The
they're
AI
fucking
bots
doing
are scraping
it. I
your
could
voice
feel
for
it.
this
I
podcast.
Just stealing all of our voices.
Let's just like
Anyways,
sound really weird.
The contract, the SAG contracts, I was like, oh, I was actually making pretty good traction, and then the strikes happened, and then I'm like, oh, this fucking contract's going to have to keep going every 3 years. Every 3 years, we're going to go into a negotiation. So unless you hit pay dirt, year one of this, which already this last 6 months so we got 2.5 years left before the contract's up. Then we're going to be right back where we started, just like we were before. So I'm like, my thing is like, we better fucking get on it.
Yeah.
Because I don't see SAG winning over more of our rights. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting though to hear you say that, because a lot of people that I've been talking to are moving away from social media right now, and you're saying you're doubling down. on it.
I'm going so fucking hard.
So, so are you? I'm just trying to get it straight. What your plan is? Is it because you want that clout of having followers, or do you want to have a more personal connection with your followers, because then you feel like you'll have more support with your own projects?
I mean, it's everything. I don't know what it is. It's just like when you try and start with the end in mind, but this thing is so. You just have to go, and it'll be what it is.
Right.
And hopefully it'll be an amalgamation or anything, but hopefully it'll be something where I can bring, like, even when we're financing the films, when we're trying, what's the first thing we're doing? Oh, who's a name with an agency that we can get on board? And I'm like, well, the agency is only going to pay attention with me if I have something to offer them. Like, oh, he's got 1 million followers. Okay, great. So until I can do that, because we are primarily actors, filmmakers. So we really bring that kind of viewpoint to the table here. And the most things that I keep seeing is, like, I keep going back to, some are born great, right? You're born into the family. Some achieve greatness, right? And I think that's what what we are here, where we're trying to achieve it. And some have greatness thrust upon them, which are like, the lucky son of a bitch who goes, like, we were watching the new ER, what's it called? The Pit?
The Pit.
So it was like episode 2 or 3. There was an actor who was on the West Wing that I came and I did a show at Syracuse Stage, and he was an acting teacher there. He was on the West Wing, heavy recurring. And then he was like, okay, I'm all done teaching. I'm going to go back to LA. Now he's doing these little small co-stars, small guest stars. Dude, the dude has been in the fucking industry forever. And these other kids, the younger, get the series regular around them, this is like their second gig.
Right.
You're like, that's the greatness has been thrusted upon them. They picked up their lottery ticket and they won. And so I'm like,
I mean, it is a lot luck, even though people don't want to believe it. I mean,
fuck.
obviously it's work, and it's but there is a luck factor in our industry.
I think between the 4 of us, how many of us can say they made it all the way? They made it all the way. I only know one person, and I know her tangentially. Stephanie Beatrice. She was at the Shakespeare Theater, at Oregon Shakes at the same time as I was, and someone saw her. She was the right look at the right time. Boom, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And that, once you're in the system, you're good to go. But until you get that, like, you might not ever get that.
Right.
But I think it's a good question too, of like, going all the way can look different for lots of people.
Explain.
Like, one person's definition of that might not be the same as somebody else. Like someone's definition of going all the way might be, well, I've produced a feature film that I wrote that is my childhood story. That might be their top goal. Yeah. For someone else, it might be working in a Marvel movie.
Sure.
So I think it just depends on what your personal goal is.
Thank you for asking me.
But I was gonna say, like, so. Can you talk, both of you, a little bit about like your process as actors and how you've kind of gotten to this point in your careers?
You go first, or unless you want me to take reign.
Well, I'll say that when people ask me, like, when did you start acting? And my mom would answer, in the womb, because she was a director and I did musicals once I got out and was, being trained by her. My sisters and I all sang together. So we always had a very storytelling vibe in our family. My dad's a naturally great singer. My mom was a opera singer as well. And then I got to the States, and because I was born in Brazil, grew up speaking Portuguese and Spanish because my dad is from Ecuador. Hola, mi gente. Oi, galera. And I moved to Kentucky, and I had an accent on my English, which was not as accepted at the time. And so I got into theater classes because I felt a little, shy raising my hand in school. And that just kind of snowball effect. So I had teachers then who were like, are you auditioning for colleges? And I was like, I don't know. Should I do this as a profession? Is this even possible? I've never seen it. I don't know how to do it. And they're like, yes, it's absolutely possible. Go, they will help you. And then the college people were like, oh yes, go to grad school. They will help you. And I was like, okay, when does this career thing happen? How does it work?
Right.
And it's true that the university system did help me make connections with casting directors and also festivals that then gave me more, resume. Because the sense is that you build enough credits on your resume and then people will trust you with bigger roles. But what we've been seeing in terms of TV and film is that it's not always the case, that you can be plucked, right? And so in the end, it's like what you said, John, about that, you make your values, you set them, and you do what you can, any way you can. You try and read and, work with other actors, director, producers, like we are, this cohort of people that support each other. And I actually got into voiceover work. I did work for the Rio Olympics, and that was like a really big entry point for me into the voiceover world. And then when the pandemic hit, I got into audiobooks specifically. I was one of those people that was like sweating in a closet, like trying to do this novel. And I'm so thankful because I love narrating. I love doing the different voices. I love reading books. And that kind of catapulted me. And I really just got into it because I do love the voice work. But it was another way of engaging in the craft of acting, of producing, of being in this artistic space. And thankfully enough, it also supported my other creative ventures because it paid well, right? It's still a place where you can make good money. And so that's where I'm at now. But again, as new technologies come in to play, I just want to be still engaging in it without being left behind, because it's so easy, I think, as new technologies come in. I think artistry in person will never really die. People want to sit around campfires and tell stories.
It's true, yeah.
So I'm hopeful that we can continue that even as technology advances and helps us.
I think it will, because I feel like when you look at the years of how entertainment has evolved and how we went from no film at all, and then being on stage, and then probably there was a point where everyone's like, oh no, theater's gonna die, but it hasn't, right? It's changed. People still want to see people live and performing and acting in front of you and having a human experience. And I think it's the same thing with film. When VFX was big and it started blowing up, basically in the first Jurassic Park film, that's when VFX started really kind of pumping up. People were like, oh my God, or everyone's going to be a VFX person, no one's going to be real. And no, I mean, it's been like a mix, right?
Yeah.
And I think it will be, yes, I have to say, of course, there's been animation that looks realistic and whatever, but people still want to see people, and people still want to obsess over somebody that's human. And I think you're gonna get a mix, right? You're gonna get a mix of the AI stuff and the real human stuff, and marrying the two, and how to make it work for both parties, right? Which, I mean, that's my hope. And if all else fails, we go back on stage.
Well, I don't mean to be like a Debbie Downer here, or whatever the politically correct, a David Downer. Dude, so many stars are piling into the major regional houses right now doing shows.
Yeah.
Because if that showed you how powerless actors can be in this industry, I'm just offering my, I keep my head in the clouds but my feet on the ground. When those producers yelled stop, even A-list actors were like, I got bills to pay. I'm doing TikTok commercials. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to support that lifestyle. And then everyone's doing plays right now. So like that trickled down towards like, hey, this A-list actor is now doing, you know, a off-Broadway, quote unquote, roundabout show. That means that roundabout actor is now doing, you know, XYZ regional theater. That regional theater person, oh, okay, he's maybe not working. So that's why it comes back to the only way to secure that is to create that fan base.
And also create your own work.
Create your own work, which is the indie.
Yeah.
This is what we all do, is creating that work, and how important indie filmmaking is. Not only just because we're creating our own work, but the stories we tell are not what mainstream big Hollywood cares to tell.
Sure.
And there are a lot of important stories. And just like how I've had the pleasure of working with you guys, being your director for your pilot, This Boy's Vida, Made in America, and it being about your childhood and your experience. Can you talk a little bit about, clearly we're the black sheep of your family in the sense of being the main artist, right? Like the one that had the artist bug, and how your life and your personal life as a kid influenced your art.
Yeah, so, you know, I think, like, you know, John, I don't know too much about your background, but, you know, I'm assuming it's somewhat similar, but the three of us, you know, we come from very limited means. And, you know, my parents were refugees and they came here from Central America. And, you know, so I learned how to survive at a very young age. And I realized very early on, just being so close to death, I think, was like, yo, dude, I can't do some weird career day in and day out, 9 to 5. And by the time I graduated high school, I'd been to 22 different schools because we moved so much because we were poor. And so this teacher gave me a monologue, stuck me in the janitor's closet, like something out of a freaking movie. And I have so many stories like that's when it happened, was like, oh man, this would be a great story. And yeah, so I was like, I know I didn't want to do a one-man show because I think they're boring. And you know, I thought the gateway into TV would be easier than film, which actually it isn't. I kind of wish we had gone maybe into something we could have sold more easily. You know, I think, again, I'm a very practical person in terms of like money. And, you know, earlier, John, you defined, hey, what is success to you? Success is stability for me. Like with any of my project, I have a number. I want to make at least $200,000 a year as an artist. Mm-hmm. If I can do that and kind of piece it together, so be it. Would I love to be making the $78,000 as a series regular and then go make my own things and then pitch it to studios? Yeah, of course. But until then, $200K, okay, cool. So if that means I'm making, you know, a $200,000, $300,000 feature and taking a small fee, piecing it together from acting, maybe I'm doing some producing on the side or whatever. Anyways, back to the other question, which was
family.
Like
how it influences you as an artist.
Oh, it's everything. That's, you know, you write about, you produce what you know.
Right.
You know, I was telling John earlier, I was like, I don't know if we were rolling, but I was like, I love spy thrillers, political dramas. I can't write it though. The stuff I write is like family stuff, you know, and because it's what comes alive and I can pull from it and it's very vivid and people really gravitate to it. So.
Oh my God. I'm that way with sci-fi. I just love strong characters, especially women. These were, when I would watch Star Trek or, you know, Star Wars, I was like, oh man, these women are kick-ass. Like, but I've never tried writing a sci-fi script, but I love that genre and I would kill to do it.
Yeah.
But
she's a sexy nerd.
You can soft launch it on your TikTok. Like little 1 minute sci-fi.
Oh, that's
episode.
great. Yeah, because I get often that I look like Sigourney Weaver, and I'm like, yeah, I'm a short Latina version of Sigourney Weaver. You're
like, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Joe, it occurs to me that I don't think I ever got to talk to you after I saw This Boy's Vida.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say, like, I thought it was stunning.
Aww.
You both did amazing work.
Thank you.
And I'm so proud of you because I saw so much of you in it. It literally like made me tear up in the movie theater because it's so emotional and it's so vulnerable. Also, I know that it comes from this deep place of truth and a lot of hurt too. So I hear what you're saying about like you want to make your number and that's your success, but like I hope you're able to live in that achievement of having created something like This Boy's Vida because it is excellent. No. And I mean, truly, I was like blown away by it.
Oh man, thank you, bro. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'm really working really part of my practice has been getting up really early and meditating and you know, a lot of that stuff that I went through really affected my self-worth and self-value. So letting those things in is a conscious effort. I would love to like take a lot of credit for it, but I had a phenomenal team. I had a fucking phenomenal team. Sure. Adrian, I mean, I love working with you. And John. Incredible. I'm gonna coax us into this big happy quadrusum. Quadruple sum. Anyways, because you know I know we come hard from the actor point of view, but like, oh my God, if you don't have good producers and good people on your team, it's over. It's just like, forget it. Like we're on set so many times and as indie filmmakers, it's so, you see so much waste and so much incompetence on big sets and you're like, oh, that ballooned number. And it is a privilege they have. Like we don't have that privilege. You have to be on top of it. And part of that is just, the way I found is I surround myself with better people. And that's it. I just, you know.
And so from you guys coming from the professional acting world and going into the indie filmmaking world, which are, you know, slightly different in a way, how has that experience been for you transitioning to that? And have you been able to utilize things that you use as a professional actor to aid your indie filmmaking?
Myriad.
Well, I think we should both answer this, but I can say that how we work together on our acting, because Joe is one of my favorite coaches. He's a phenomenal actor.
Continue.
And
I agree.
One more time, John. I agree with myself too.
That's 3 out of 3 dentists.
But I also like really trust Joseph's eye. And so when it comes to producing in the indie film world, I found that we would bounce ideas off of each other really well. That I would be able to say like, hey, from an outsider's perspective, I know and I love you, and that's wonderful, and I want to take care of your project. And as from an outsider's perspective, not having lived your life, I'm curious about this thing that you, I think, could maybe expound upon. Like when he was writing the several different drafts of This Boy's Vida Made in America, it was a real treasure to be able to do that, but I think we're hard on each other. Like we critique well.
But it's more like challenging each other to be better in what you do.
100%. So
It's
whether
not so much hard, to me, it's more of like, because you both are so supportive and it's lovely to see an artistic marriage, right? Be so supportive and understanding, because that actually, you believe it or not, doesn't happen very often. So that, I think the hardness is more of just wanting each other to be the best version and of each other, right? And especially your work.
And we definitely had to create, like I do when I'm away for a gig, I create like work Gisela, that's a persona, and then I'm at home Gisela.
Sure.
So then when Joe and I were on set,
like she asked me for a kiss. I don't know if you heard, but
one of our
rules is we don't do that professionally in front of people. You know?
Yeah, and my request is instead of calling me honey on set, you know,
she likes babe.
No, he's like, I said, you know, you can call me G or Gisela, because I feel like, especially in front of other people, I want to make sure, one, that we understand who's in charge in terms of, you know, whatever's happening on set that day. And also just that affording that kind of respect to one another as peers.
Sure, absolutely.
And I appreciate the way that you guys communicate with each other about those things, because a lot of couples, even without being in the industry, do not know how to do that. You know, do you feel like because you're both artists and you are in the industry and you are in basically the business of communication in some capacity, that is why that's something that's important to you both?
I think for me, I will say some of it comes from being a very private person, that what I want communicated out in the world is important that I have a little bit of control. I'm a Virgo, so all of you out there, I love sushi. My favorite color is blue. And so in terms of the communication, I feel like I speak 3 different languages, and it is so important to get the right words, to get the right sense of it, the tone, so that one, I'm expressing myself the way that I want, but I also want to make sure that, you know, other people are getting it. And so one of those things would be like, hey, there was an issue on set, but I'm going to talk to you about it at home. I'm not going to talk to you about it in front of other people right now. And in terms of communication, do you want to?
Yeah, I think that the thing that I lead with the most is like, I truly believe in my heart of hearts, you are one of the best directors, Adrian, that there is right now.
I agree.
Absolutely. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. And I say this because that leads all my interactions with you. To be like, she will one day be an Oscar or running a show, and I truly believe that. And as if I don't, so I talk to you as such. I truly believe you are a movie star, 100%. And John, you know, I've read your writing, and I can see how smart you are with your social media. I'm like, this is doing it. And if
he's a phenomenal writer,
and
actor.
An actor, that's right. You were, yes. And I truly, that's why I treat you with respect. I do mess around sometimes, you know, because I'm an idiot. But I truly see your greatness, right? And so if I lead with that, everyone on my team, when I call them and I bring on team, I know that I'm privileged enough to get you for this little slice of your life, but I'm like looking into the future knowing, oh, this is my Heidi Marie Farron, this is my award-winning TV show writer, producer that literally is on a Shondaland show, but I got her when, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And my grandmother used to say in broken English, she is your wife. You treat her with most respect. And so I really try to, you know, if I wouldn't say something to Gisela in front of her mother and father, I don't say it. You know, if I didn't want to be heard talking to her like that, then I'm not saying I'm not perfect and it doesn't slip out, but then I don't do it. You know, if I wouldn't do it in front of professionally, then I don't do it. And a lot of the things that help us is like, we have rules. When we tape, we have rules.
Oh yeah.
You show up a certain way. When we get on set, we have rules, right? And I think one of the things when we had to do pickups for this boy's Vida, because we were like, we did a phenomenal job. I loved when we did the shot list. We started just because I was like, one of the jobs I've had to work as was a DOE teacher when I stopped touring, and my principal made us include transition times between subject matter or when you transition to class. And so we started doing that in the call sheet, and I was putting in those things of like, we need 10 minutes here to transition. And that to me was like, I don't know how I got onto that, but I thought it was worth sharing. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, no,
yeah,
absolutely.
And also just in terms of communication, like if everybody sees that on set, that we have that time.
Oh yeah,
right.
You know, that's important.
Everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, you're the lead. And I think so many of the time, and you see the privilege of some of these people who are working in the industry, just ooze irresponsible privilege everywhere. Versus, Can you imagine? When you get it together, you get a show like Severance. You get a show like The West Wing. When it's top down and everyone brings their A game, you get spectacular product.
Oh my gosh.
I have to believe that's part of the product. Breaking Bad, when it's top down and the showrunner's on top of it, the writers are on it, everyone's showing respect. I cannot believe that that's not part of it.
Right. No, you're right. I mean, and I worked on Better Call Saul as an actor. It was the same team as Breaking Bad, and I got to shadow on Better Call Saul, and it was a phenomenal team. Like the whole cast and crew, it was just so much respect. They were all like family. They all treated each other so well, and they made me feel like I was a part of that team forever. And that speaks volumes, because I've been on other shows that it's not the same vibe, and you can see it. Like you can see it on a show, you can see it, the dynamic, and just in general, it's obvious almost.
It's almost like the money pays for the like dysfunction on the set, because they burn so much time because of this weird personality issues, miscommunication. It's so wasteful.
And in the indie world, we just literally don't have time.
Don't have time.
We are by the skin of our teeth here.
Yeah.
It's a miracle what we do with the budget.
Right, and we don't have time to have a bad apple within this crew. Like when there's one,
it's over.
It messes up the whole vibe. And we've been in the situation where we fired someone on the spot.
No assholes policy.
Yeah.
I love it.
We were like, and they were kind of a pivotal key person, I was like, I can't have you here, because of the way you're treating people, the way you're speaking to me, the way it was clearly a man against woman dynamic. And I was like, I'm your director. Like, if you have a problem with me, you can't be here.
Yeah.
And so there's
also, like, know where you are, dude.
Right.
Like,
and it's an independent film. It's a small crew. It's a woman. Yeah, exactly. Like, read the room. But, I think that's what's so great. Like, we've been able to find really great people to work with us. And some of those people have gone up even after this Boys Vida. We had some amazing interns from Ghetto Film School that freaking has risen up in the crew world,
You better find us and you better hire us.
Right.
We knew you went.
That's the unsaid rule.
We gave you that job.
You have where you are because of me. Kidding, not kidding.
Yeah, but in any case, in regards to indie filmmaking, what would you guys want to do next? Like, what's your thought process on your next project?
Ooh, that's so exciting and terrifying at the same time.
I'll go first.
You go. Yes.
Okay, so this Boys Vida, someone saw blah, 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 and they're like, yo, we might not be able to make it into an indie, but we can make it into a book. And it's a big, big publisher. So we're working on a deadline to get that done. And I think it's one of those things where all roads lead to Rome. So, okay, work backwards here. Okay, maybe it goes from, the pilot, it served its purpose, it got seen, people loved it, very complimentary. And it takes a step back, becomes a book, builds that fan base that we were talking about earlier today. And then someone sees it and boom, here we go. We're back on the drawing board. I do have this project in the works that, has some hush-hush on it. But one of the things I think that I kind of ties in with all this, but is getting the money.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Like, I always tell people, like, get the money, the rest is easy. And so,
you're right.
I'm a big fan of, like, fundraise if you can, cool, but I have a job. I have a life, and I'm auditioning. I need to go to a few, like, as a producer, as an EP, I just go to a few, 3 people and be like, hey, I figure out my pitch. Like, how you ask for money is going to be different for everyone. And I think not enough people talk about that.
And that's a fine art too.
Mm-hmm. So here's a great example. The way I ask for money is like, hey, what's up, John? What's going on, man? Hey, well, dude, I'm going to cut to the chase. I was wishing I was calling to say what's up, but bro, I need money. I need money, dude. I got this project, and I pitch it, and I just say, like, we're looking for $5K. Or 10K or whatever the number is. And I understand if you can't do it, but if you could do it, amazing. And then I tell them what the benefit is. We can write it off. Or if you can give anything, and if you can't, I understand. And I give them as many outs and as many benefits as I can, and that's how I do it.
But it's direct.
But I have to, just because that's how the world, universe put together Joseph Castillo-Midyett, and that's how I'm perceived by people. For example, the way Gisela asks for money is different because, and I learned this lesson this way, she asked this question when she auditioned. She goes, why this play? Why now? And I was like, oh, that's kind of a cute, they, I was in the room one time, it was like a Skype thing, and they were like, oh my God, I love that platform. Oh my God. And they just like all over her. And I was like, I'm going to steal that. And then I asked it in the room. So I was like, but it came out like me. And I was like, so why this play? Why now?
Didn't have the same sound to it.
In that moment, I was like, just lost that job.
Do you find that the people that you approach for money, that it's like people who are close to you, people who are in the periphery of your networks? Like how do you go about that process?
So it goes about like, yes, you're going to reach out to your immediate circle, but you could only ask that immediate circle once, maybe twice. So this is part of that. Like, dude, you got to be on your fucking A game. You have to bring value, because that inner circle, you've got to push that circle of influence out even more, right? So that you can ask other people. Like now we have other people that are like, listen, I'm good for it. I have a proven track record. I will get you your money back. Mm-hmm. I have to get your money back. To me, that's the only thing that makes sense. Like you will break even, or I will get you the money back. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, get break even or a small profit, and you'll get the glitz and glam. And then that third project turns into like, okay, now I got to really deliver. I've got to at least deliver a 5% profit or 4% profit. If not, these people are like, yeah, I like the write-off, okay, but the best thing that you can show to investors is to make it a real investment. To be like, it's tricky, it might not work, but I can guarantee I can at least get you 2.5%, 3%, 4%. Because it is a business. That's how people make money, really, truly.
That's true.
So if you can't do that, if we're like indie is like, sometimes people are like, oh, there's no money in it. There's no money in it because you didn't put that at the forefront of your project.
And this is where I think Joe and I are great balance for each other, because I am more interested or have more facility in the like envisioning the artistic process. What is needed. We always joke, but it's a good metaphor that like Joe is the archer and I'm the arrow. Mm-hmm. And so he points me in the direction and then I go. And so he can see what's coming, right? He's very good at seeing the trends. And then I'm good at facilitating making the thing happen. So in terms of the money, that's less of something that I have skills in. But for example, when it comes to producing, I'm doing just whatever job is possible. I am new to it, but I have, time management skills. I can do some work on the computer. I can look up contracts and what we need. I was talking with Heidi Marie Farron, another one of our producer cohorts, about another project, and we were trying to figure out, okay, well, would it be more beneficial to go under this contract or whatever? And so we divide and conquer very well.
She's being modest. The other part of her that's really good at producing is she's really, people really like her because she's a genuinely good person, which I'm not. But
stop it, yes you are.
but she'll be like, oh yeah, that person does XYZ at head of XYZ, and I'm like, that's where the arrow comes in. The arrow can see the target to be like, we can do a partnership there, and that will be a benefit to an investor. Sometimes it's not money. Sometimes it's like, oh, we want that. We need that. Hey, be the thing you are and see if that's something they're interested in. Oh yeah, sure. What do you want me to say? Say this, this, and that. Okay. Just like when we go and talk at like talkbacks or any type of producing, I have at least 3 strong women on the team that talk better than me. That's part of being a great producer or EP, is like, she can do it better. Let her do it. She can do it better. Let her do it. And just handing the mic over.
Although I have to say you are a very good talker.
Definitely.
You do really well at explaining yourself. So I don't think I'm better.
I know. God, I hate. If they want to talk about process, camera, aesthetics, explaining the film that we produced together, I'm going to give it to you. 1, because I know you can talk about it inside and out. 2, you're a woman. 3, you're a Latina woman. They need to hear more from you than they need to hear from a white passing Latino. As derogatory as, and I hate that fucking way of saying it, but it is what it is right now until we expand
the notion of what people view as a Latino person in the United States.
Three continents.
Literally, my dad, who's an Afro-Indigenous Latino, had a cousin, blonde hair, blue eyes, from Ecuador. To his grandmother was a black woman. Like we come in all shapes and colors.
Because we were colonized from all over the world, right?
Yeah. So,
anyways, moving on.
Anyway, we'll step off the soapbox. But, but it is one of the things, you're saying like, what is next? What do you want to do? And I'm still sort of a baby in the indie film world, but I'm trying to write a little bit more with Heidi Marie Farron as my writing partner.
That's fantastic.
When we work together, we work really well. We're actually meeting tomorrow on a project that we want to submit to Blacklist. Yeah, or is that right? Yes.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, just to see what is possible, and also to just looking at other producing opportunities that can help rear me, because I, again, coming from the acting world, I just had people who were better at it than me who showed me the way, and I don't see why. I mean, yeah, we can do producing on our own, but I don't want waste. I don't want to waste someone's time. I don't want to be less capable than what I need to be for their project. Sure. So I really, want to learn more. So looking for those kinds of opportunities, and then trying to bring attention to the work of my cohort. Just, hey, go see that. If you've not seen I'm Okay, We're Okay, like that shook me, and I had a tiny part in that beautiful piece that you did, but I saw it recently. And I don't know if I told you that.
No, I didn't know you.
I watched it over while I was in Tennessee with my folks.
Oh, amazing.
And it haunted me because it was so beautiful. The story is so interesting, and I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but just go and see it and know that this woman, Adrian Acevedo, love it, like directed it, was in it, and also probably edited it, which is amazing.
Yeah.
John wrote it.
We co-wrote it.
Co-wrote it. Edit this in on. You guys co-wrote it.
Do you two feel like you'll continue? Do you enjoy making your own projects for the sake of making things, or is it more as like a vehicle for you as actors?
Fair question. Both. Again, it's one of those things where you just do it, and it'll show itself. So, for example, we're working on a project right now. It's almost close to being fully funded. Everyone wants it. It's one big investor, and I will have to step out of it as an actor. And I want Gisela to step into the role because it can be done, but it's because I know the demands of this thing. I cannot be pulled that thin. So sometimes I do have to step out of it because the work has to be phenomenal. I'm not interested in grade or it was good, but I'm not interested in that. But and then the other project we have is that if we have another project waiting for the funding. But that one, I'm a writer-actor in that one. I'm not in any way directing. I'm going to try and produce the hell out of it, but it is slow going off the ground. But the contracts are done and everything's done.
I think to answer your question a little bit more, is that we initially started doing filming indie film to gain more traction as actors, because we had seen that work for some other actors, like, oh, you make the festival circuit, then you can create content around that. Right. So people see like, oh, you're doing things, okay, what's happening? Oh, I want them for this. And it's still changing and evolving. We went to a festival, and the festival life is like, oh, it's a little less networking and actually meeting more producers or networks, and more like vehicles for people to just showcase their work. And that's fine. It's completely fine. But it's ever evolving. And so, and I don't have the luxury, I wasn't raised with a lot of money, so I don't have the luxury of just like making pet projects where I look cute.
Yeah.
It really needs to kind of serve both.
Same.
And again, I'm one of those people who I don't like waste. I grew up in Brazil. I saw poverty to the nth degree. I am literally and then my father grew up in Ecuador, and they had nothing. Like, when I
Bamboo
say
hut.
I am my ancestors' wildest dreams, I know that it is a privilege for me to be able to be an artist, but I also am very aware of the waste that is in our industry at times.
Right.
And so I want to like thread the needle there.
I would like to revise my answer, if that's okay.
Go.
Yeah.
Or,
No revisions here. It's set in stone.
I originally thought like, oh, okay, I'm chase a series regular. I'm gonna chase making this thing because if I make it, then that's it. I'm gonna get seen and I'm gonna blow up. And that has been the come to Jesus lesson I have been really, really coming home with. And so when you're like, oh, why do I keep doing these things? At the end of the day, it's because I feel a need to create and I want to make money. Do I need it to make it at that hugest, highest payday? Dude, everyone wants that. But at the end of the day, if I can feed myself, if I can build a life of security, somewhat security, and work with, it's going to be us. This is it. There is no over there. There is no, I
It's
sold
us.
it. It's it. This is it.
Climbing
This
up,
is
yeah.
as good as it gets. If something happens, that's called catching lightning in a bottle.
Right.
And I think not enough people talk about that. Not enough people say like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. Like we're talking, like, let's talk numbers because I'm really good with numbers. 90%, 95%, it's probably not going to happen. But if you're like, I can maybe pay my rent and put some money away for retirement and stop working when I'm 50 and love my life that I've led, this little life of mine, that's not bad, man.
Right.
That's not bad. I got 2
And
cars.
you get to create.
And yeah, I didn't have
And
to.
under your terms,
I didn't work a fucking 9 to 5 and like
Right.
live for the weekend, but too fucking tired and keep up with the Joneses. But I created a podcast and I put it out there and I learned how to fucking do that. Or I learned how to do more social media so that I can have an audience. Like I don't need
I made
network.
a movie that went into a theater and was screened in Union Square.
You know what I'm saying? And like,
exactly.
Or like, I maybe I make $800,000 features and I make an income of $100K every year. That's not bad, bro.
Right.
There are social workers out there making 42. Nurses working 6 days a week for crazy hours, making 92, and like I make movies with my friends, and it's precarious at times.
I think that's a good perspective for a lot of people to hear, especially when you put all this weight on yourself to make it, right? And so I think just keeping it like that takes the weight off so that you can focus on the creativity, on what makes you happy and thrive, right?
And also what you want to see out in the world, because I know, we come from Latina experiences in the United States, and we didn't really see that growing up.
Right.
And so to have partners in that, allies as each other, to make more projects that we want to see is really important. I was going to ask you all, like, is anybody asking you all these questions? Because
We're going to ask each other these questions.
I want to hear that.
Maybe we'll bring somebody in to ask that.
I think we'll go back and forth and just talk about it.
Yeah.
But in a way, though, that is the ethos of indie film. Though it's like when you are, rattling the gates of the studios or the networks, and you're either being told no, or you're in projects that aren't aligning with your vision, then you turn to indie film because you have to. There's a story that you have to tell.
Yeah.
Everyone else be damned.
Yeah.
Right.
Bro, it's like that musical. It's the name of that music. It's good work, great work if you can get it. And also you listen. Once you look past that curtain that is the Oz, it's ugly back there, man. It's not just numbers. It's a lot of favoritism. It's a lot of like, you see it all the time. You see what these celebrities have to do to maintain that, especially women. And you're just like, do you really want that? The answer is for me is yes, because I'll do it better. But in the meantime, I can't live my life on a maybe one day. I gotta live it. Right. I gotta fucking live it.
Right.
Yeah, so in other words, like, I feel like looking maybe a couple steps ahead of like, what could this project, if I engage in this, what could it do for me? You can have hopes for that, but I think if you are too far, then you lose sight of this beautiful piece of art in front of you that you can engage with.
Right.
Like I did not sleep during This Boy's Vida. We were constantly like, after shooting, we would even come home because you were staying with us, and we would be like, okay, let's talk about what happened. Wasn't that crazy? Like, I was like, but it was the most fulfilling time.
It really
so
was.
alive.
Yeah.
So alive.
And we've moved people. I mean, people have said, and thank you for your words.
Yeah,
and for being part of the trailer of the first little bit.
God, that's right. I was in the first.
That's right.
You were amazing.
I was in the short, or well, I guess the short version of it.
Yeah, it was so good.
Well, guys, thank you so much.
Wait,
for
before we
being
wrap
here.
up, I just want to circle back to one little idea. I feel like we've been talking so much about...
We are your favorite. We know.
You are my favorite guests we've had on the podcast. So we've been talking so much about like chasing things, and Gisela, at the beginning, you even said about how we're conditioned to make something and then forget about it and move on to the next thing. What we do, Joe, you called it a miracle, and it's true. Making these things is a miracle.
Truly.
And so I hope that we all can find time to truly acknowledge and like celebrate the badass things that we're doing, because it's fucking hard.
That's true.
Thank you for that. I'm gonna let that
Let that
wash
simmer.
over me.
I feel like anyone listening should let that simmer, you know?
Truly.
Because it's sometimes you're just looking ahead for the next thing, and you don't take in what you've accomplished.
Right.
Or you like get jaded because looking around you see
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
getting
don't
things
compare.
that you feel like don't
Don't compare.
Sit
Everyone's
with your own
journey is
work.
different.
And
I can't help it. I'm gonna compare.
But that's because
But that's the journey.
That's
journey.
part of your journey.
That's part of my journey to
Yeah.
be like, yo, you have to be able to fucking compare and find joy.
And still find joy.
And live a life, bro.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
come on, bro. Like,
That's
there's
true.
more.
Yeah.
Because there's so much benefit in comparing. How they do this? What do they do differently? How can I up my game? And
Sure,
like,
in that regard, yeah.
but also too, John, like what you're talking about is like, and then like, if I'm only in love with arriving somewhere, 95% of this thing is the road, is the journey. Like, some people love to hike, not to get up to the top of the mountain. They like hiking.
Like
This
the
is
process.
like they like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. The pitch. They love the meetings. They love the color correct. They love, and then like, oh yeah, that's how I feel about acting. Like, sometimes I'm like, I love rehearsal as much as performance.
100%.
Yeah.
How you have to kind of fall in love with auditioning. Like, the way I fell in love with that was like, oh dude, I'm gonna get to open and close this play right here, and I don't care if you cast me. This is what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a great to hear back, and I really don't want to shortchange what you said in terms of like, you took a moment and really said how much it moved you.
Yeah.
That made
Take
my
that
day.
home. Take it home.
It made my day.
Sit with it.
Yeah.
I truly meant it. It wasn't just like, a friend being friendly to a friend. It was
Favorite part.
Gisela, when you were in the school and you took that boy under your wing. I mean, it just touched me.
So say more.
Thank you.
No, and I'm not trying to be like, pat me up, because
We can talk once we
Yeah.
stop rolling.
But thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so
You guys
much.
are wonderful, creative, amazing people. I'm so happy that you're in my life. And
We are going to shoot something. The 4 of us.
listen.
We're gonna like figure out
There's
who's
stuff
right.
happening.
Yes, please.
I have
You have no idea.
I'm writing the zombie thing.
Yes.
I already have the outline.
I think it's hilarious. We should totally do it.
I'm always down for a zombie thing.
Yeah.
Really? Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd make a great zombie.
I think we should really do it.
I want you more. I need you harder acting.
Yeah, no, we're gonna do that for sure. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you both.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to Real Indie. If today's conversation sparked something in you, like it, share it, and keep creating. This episode was brought to you by The Garage Productions and Man of the Crowd Productions, where purpose meets storytelling and stories are made from the ground up. Until next time, keep it real, keep it indie.